Hello you lot, how's it going? 6 o'clock, Saturday morning, well, just gone to, oh no, bloody hell, 10 past 7, 10 past 7, no, bloody Jesus, been out here for an hour and 10 minutes, 10 past 7, Saturday morning, right, let's have a look. I've got a kettle here. Somebody gave me this kettle. This is like a low wattage travel kettle, meant for like caravans and things. I've already put water in it. It's got a bit of limescale in there and a bit of corrosion because it's sat around in a shed because the person sold their caravan years ago, and it sat in the shed ever since. And they gave it to me and said, "Is this any good to you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I'll have a look." So I've put water in it. I've got some of this extreme descaler which I use on my washing machine, dishwasher, kettle indoors. So let's I will put a bit in here. Let's plug the old kettle in and we shall boil it up and then see how clean we can get it using just a descaler. So that's what it looks like at the moment, and then we'll have a look and see how clean I can get it with the descaler. It turns on, that's a good sign. While we're waiting for that to boil, I took my old Savage 21 out the other day and did incur a little bit of damage, but that's okay. We can soon find a new screw that back on there, and it doesn't matter, it's bent a bit, that'll be fine. Yeah, so I've been meaning to use these RC cars a lot more recently, so yeah, I'll be taking this out a lot more in the next, this summer, you know what I mean? So if you like that sort of stuff, that's good. Did encounter a little bit of damage to the engine, but that'll be fine. I'll have to put some more of these on. The trouble is they don't last 10 minutes, and it's a waste of fuel pipe and cable ties if they just come off in 5 seconds time, but there we go. Love it, man. Now this one I'm trying to repair, but what's happened is I put it on the bench, took it apart, and now I've forgotten how it all goes back together. So it's going to be a bit of a project to try and get this back together, this one, but we'll get there eventually. Hopefully the kettle will boil before that happens. It is a very slow boiling kettle, this one, but it is from the 90s. It's from some point in the late 90s, so it's not going to be the best modern kettle. This is an extremely slow kettle. It's been 5 minutes and we've got a slight bit of warmth at the bottom, but we've got nothing significant to say. It's actually bloody boiling. Well, we'll get there, don't worry. I've had to get a new packet of sealing strip because got a bit of a leak on the Caravan. One of these rails that goes along there like that started to leak. So I've run out of this. I had loads of this because I was using it before on the other one, and I thought I had some left over, but I've looked everywhere for it and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to buy another packet, another box of that. So I'll be doing a bit of a repair with this soon. Just one of these rails that goes along like that, exactly like that. It started to leak back there somewhere, just behind the settee on the inside, so I've got to take the whole rail off. Put some of the sealing strip behind it. Try and dry the wood out while I'm at it, and then put that on. Also the handles are starting to leak around the screws, so I have to do that. But yeah, bit of that coming up. Oh, we've got a bit of action. We're slowly starting to boil. I think this might be alright as like a backup kettle, if I can get it clean enough where I think it's alright, it's not going to be too manky. It'll be nice to keep as a backup kettle, I reckon. That might be alright. They also gave me a toaster and yeah, a pair of towing mirrors. I don't generally use towing mirrors because I don't need them. I mean, I can see round the Caravan no problem at all, but it's handy to have them, so I probably will put them on for the longer journeys. If we're going for any significant amount of time, I'll probably put towing mirrors on. But so I've got toaster as well, but I'll have to test the toaster. We've got 2 or 3 toasters, but having an extra one is brilliant. Having a backup of everything is absolutely fantastic. Always good to have backups. So the idea, I dare say there's probably instructions on how to do this, but I normally do I don't think there is any instructions on how to actually use it, but what I normally do is sometimes I put the cold water in and then I put the descaler in and boil it and let it, because in that way I'm thinking it's agitating, but in this case I wanted to make sure it actually even works, so I'll put the water in first and we'll boil it up, and then I'll stick a bit of descaler in. But we've got to be careful, we don't want it to froth up and go all over the table, so we'll let it boil up. I think it's just about to reach boiling point in a minute, and then we'll stick a bit of this stuff in and see what happens. There we go. Let's open her up. Lovely bit of boiling water. Hopefully we don't get too much frothage, and pour her in. Holy shit. I thought she was going to go over the bench then for a minute. I didn't want that to happen. Thank you very much. I'll close that. Let that ferment for a little while. I might boil it again. Let it agitate around a bit. Nice. That should be doing its thing now. Yeah, look at that frothing away in there. Imagine you drank that by accident. Oh, holy cow, man. You'd be in serious trouble. Serious trouble. Had a little bit of a mishap as well. Actually broke, this is the shelf that goes in the fridge, and it broke because the last time we went out and about, I wasn't the last in the fridge, and I just assumed that everyone had, you know, set it up for travelling. You should never assume things like that. That's one lesson I've learned in life, and I should have applied it here, but I didn't. And but they didn't. They left some cans of 7-Up and bits and bobs on the shelf when it was too heavy. You shouldn't leave heavy stuff on these shelves when you're travelling. Anyway, it broke the top of the shelf off, and it all went flying, and the cans burst in the fridge, and we had a bit of a mess. So I've super glued the top of that back on, and that'll be fine. I have to remember not to be so trusting and make sure that I check the fridge before we actually leave and take anything heavy off of the shelf before we go. As far as all the dirt in that goes, I can just get a wet wipe with a screwdriver and scrape all that out and have this looking nice and clean. That's not a problem. The cleanliness on the outside will be absolutely fine. We'll take care of that. I just wanted to get the corrosion and the lime scale from the inside, really. So yeah, I was trying not to do that. That's what I was trying not to do, but we got a bit of steam. Alright, it's been about sort of maybe 6 or 7 minutes now. We've got some lime scale floating around in the water. I'll try not to steam you up again. Smells like an old chair. I think it's slowly eating away at any of the corrosion and lime scale. There is one of those little bits of wire wall in there what people used to put in to try and chip away the lime scale from the heating element back in the day. You don't really get kettles with heating elements like that anymore. They're normally a flat plate at the bottom nowadays. But there is a bit of wire wall in there, so I might leave that in, might take that out. But I know some of you might have noticed that and thought to yourself, well, there's a wire wall in there, so there's not going to be much lime scale. But the point is, I want to try and get it as clean as possible, because it's, you know, when you get something, you want to remove other people's dirt and just have your own dirt, don't you? Check this out, you lot. Originally I bought this. This is a very nice nitro fuel bottle by S Works. Fantastic, wrong way around. Fantastic bottle. See, people asked me, what's the best fuel bottle to use? Can you test different fuel bottles and make videos of it and then recommend one? So I went out on a bit of a hunt, and I was buying fuel bottles in order to test but the trouble is they're damn well expensive, and I only managed to buy one before I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do this. But I'm glad I bought this one, because this is a very nice one. And the ones that I normally use are 20 years old, and it is nice to have a new thing every now and again. Not that I particularly believe in buying new stuff just for the sake of it. This one down here is 20 years old, and it still works 100% perfectly well. But yeah, very nice fuel bottle, this one. And I've been using it every time. Well, I've been using it. This has been my main fuel bottle, and yeah, love it. So if any of you lot want a nice fuel bottle, just go to Answer RC. Look them up on the internet, and they sell them. Don't know where else you can buy it, but they sell loads of S-Work stuff, and they sell these bottles. It was about £9 when I bought it, but it might have gone up, might have gone down, but it's about £9 when I bought it. Alright, let's have a look at this. So this is ticking away there now. Let's go and pour the water away, and we'll see what it looks like on the... Or should we boil it up again? Should we boil it up again? Let's turn it on. Boil it up with the lid off. Look, we'll see it. Oh, look, there it goes. Oh, look at that. Boiling up nicely. Definitely smells like an old chair. Very nice. Yeah, that's picking up loads of lime scale from the bottom down there now. Let's hold the button down again now. We'll make it boil. Very nice, very nice. Look at that. Love it. You gotta love cleaning something is great satisfaction. But if you clean something that's already clean, then it's just pointless. Do you ever get that? You think, I want to give that a clean, but when it's already clean, so you've cleaned it and you don't get no satisfaction out of it after, do you? But if you clean something that's dirty, there's loads of satisfaction now. Let's go and tip this out, and we'll see what happens. Oop. There goes that little piece of wire. Oh, it's a lot cleaner in there now. Still not ideally perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. I think I'll give that a nice old clean around with a wet wipe and a screwdriver, so I can get in the little nooks and crannies. Give that a good old clean on the outside. There's a bit of paint on the handle, it looks like. And this will be a nice backup kettle. I think I'll keep this in one of the cupboards in the motorhome, and we'll have this as a backup kettle then, I think. And the base is all nice as well. Very good. Righto, you lot. I'll catch you lot on the next one. All the best. Chill out, relax, enjoy yourselves. It's a bank holiday weekend, 3 days off of work, right? Because that king is getting himself kinged again, or whatever he's doing. Getting himself officially kinged. Do you think it's sad? A lot of people these days reckon the royal family is not needed, is inferior. We don't need a royal family. We didn't vote for them, they're going. What an absolute rubbish. If I had a gun, I would shoot their kneecaps, because it's important to carry on tradition. I don't really necessarily like the royal family. I've never really taken any notice of the royal family, but I like tradition, and I think it's important to carry on tradition. You know, to have a royal family, to have a king, it's important, because that's the way life is. You know, carry on traditions. Otherwise things just go away, and then we all just become nothing. You know, all these young zombies walking around with their telephones in their hands all the time don't appreciate life and the way it is, because if it hasn't been the way that it has been in the past, and they wouldn't be here now, they wouldn't be as they are. Old traditions are very important. Anyway, back on topic. I'll see you later on. All the best. Look after each other. We're all the same. Don't take the mickey out of anybody. care for each other, love life. See you later.